Hi guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the weekly review for the 19th to the 23rd of August. Aspects covered in this review include evaluating and looking at how price has moved recently on multiple assets, as well as highlighting trading zones and targets to be aware of in the coming week. In this week's edition, we're going to look at dollar index as usual, EURUSD, gold, USDJPY, and USD CAD. Okay, so let's get on with it. Right, looking at the dollar index. Last week, the dollar did manage to fight back a little bit, and we had a correction to the upside. Dollar gained a bit, not much, but a little bit. As you can see from the monthly chart, beginning of August, price dropped to the downside. That was the weakness that we noticed during the first week of trading for August. Price did drop, but last week we had a correction to the upside, and means the dollar erased some of the losses that it had encountered during the first week of August. So now we can clearly see the pullback to the upside on a monthly chart. Now I'm gonna drop down to a weekly chart. Now we are on a weekly chart for the dollar index. You can clearly see now the first week of August. First week of August, price dropped. Second week, which was last week, price rallied. Now, there's two things that I want you to take note of on this chart. We had price forming a higher high on our channel in the month of July. We had this higher high. Remember, gold is bullish, so we get highs, highs, higher highs, higher highs. Now, price then formed a swing low from the high to the lowest point. We had a swing low formed during the first week of August. This swing low here, and we've got this swing high here. And then price rallied to the upside. Now, taking note of those two swing points, which is the swing high and the swing low in an uptrend market. Now, taking note of those two swing points, I'm going to take our fib 2, and then I'm going to highlight from the swing high to the swing low. Let me just extend here so that you can clearly see. You can clearly see I have marked the swing high and then to the swing low. Now, take note of where the OTE is and the 62% retracement. Take note of those price levels. We've got the OTE coming in at 98.18, which is basically 98.20, and then we've got the 62% retracement of the swing high to the swing low coming in at 98.0 price point. Now we go down to a next lower time frame, which is our daily chart. Now you can clearly see. Okay, let me move this a bit. Right. Look where the retracement of last week's trading bounced at. Last week's trading, dollar made some gains all the way to 98.20. That's where price faced some resistance. Why is that so? Because of these highs here. You see? Because of those highs. That's why price faced some resistance there. That's why we had a bounce to the upside during Friday's trading session. Price rejected the higher prices. So we can basically see market is now preparing for a bounce to the downside. But from which area now? From the 98.2 price point. From the 98.2 price area. So it's in this area. It's in this area that you expect a potential bounce to the downside on dollar index. So the price points to take note of on dollar index is the 98.20 and the 98.0 price points. So it's in these areas that we look to short dollar index to the downside. You see, because I still expect a weakness in the dollar. Though we had this retracement the whole of last week, dollar gained, but not by much compared to the drop that happened. You see, not by much compared to this drop. So it gained, but with a slower price move. So I'm now expecting dollar to bounce to the downside rapidly, all the way to 97 and to 96.50 price point. So I'm expecting that kind of move on the dollar index. Yes, it can rally all the way, but take note of the channel that we have on our monthly and weekly chart. Remember that channel from last week? So you must put that into perspective, because price is now trading at the top point of the channel, the resistance area of the channel. So price is bound to bounce back to the downside. So you must take note of that. You see the resistance of the channel. Sorry, the resistance of the channel. So I'm really expecting, if it does push all the way up here, then it's in this zone here that we look for market to go to the downside. But if you look where price is, we've got this guy here. That's why I'm saying price will, dollar is gonna lose a bit of value on the levels that it's approaching. This level here, which is our OTE area, look to your left. You see we've got supply zone there, which market struggles to break to the upside. So I'm really expecting the same price action to happen here, and then market tumbles to the downside. So that's much about it when it comes to the dollar index. Take note of the 98.2 and the 98.0 price area. That means we are bearish on dollar. I'm expecting weakness on dollar. So if we are expecting weakness on dollar, when we come to Euro USD, I'll expect Euro USD to appreciate in value. Already we are at that price level, the $10, where we expect price to bounce to the upside. And if you look from a monthly chart, dollar is also at the support level of the channel. Let me highlight that. It was not highlighted here. Let me highlight that. I'm gonna grab my channel drawing tool here. Right, and then we highlight the channel resistance up here. So you can clearly see we are trading at the channel's resistance point. So I'm gonna go to a weekly chart. Let me just zoom out a bit here. Right, this is our weekly chart on EURUSD. Now, if you look to your right, if you look to your left, sorry, we are on a demand, a very strong demand area, which EURUSD has been facing strong support. You see, we had a rejection of price 2 weeks ago. Price rejected the lower prices here at this candle here. Price rejected and rallied. The following week, price dropped again. So now I'm expecting Euro-US dollar to bounce to the upside. This being supported by this demand zone here. So now what price levels do we need to look at? Now we need to focus on $10. Let me highlight that for you guys so that you can see. $10.50. Right, $10.50 is the best area to look for bullish evidence in the market. At the $10.50 price area, this is where we should start hunting for bullish evidence into the market. You see, that's the area we need to look for long opportunities. Of course, at this moment in time, there is a bit of a downtrend on EURUSD, such that price could drop all the way to $0.08. Price could test these lows here. But now, due to the fact that I'm expecting more weakness coming into dollar index, then $0.08 will only be validated if dollar index keep rallying to the upside all the way to 98.50 or even 99 price zone. That's the only way we can start looking for more shorts to $0.08 on EURUSD. But as of now, I'm expecting price to bounce to the upside from the $10.50 price area. So it's in these areas here, price to drop in here. It's in these areas that we should look for long opportunities on Euro-US dollar. So now I'm gonna go to a lower time frame so that you can clearly see the price action that should take place. Right, you can see now I'm on a daily chart on Euro-US dollar. I'm on a daily chart, and you can clearly see price is rejecting. price is rejecting here at the $10.50. So I'm expecting price to pull back into the $10.50 and then rally all the way to $12. $12 being a strong pivot point in the market should be your first target. You see, $12 should be your first target in a long position on Euro USD, because it's a strong pivot point where price dropped and then rallied to, dropped and then rallied to, drop. Then I'm expecting it to rally again to $12. So $10.50 best area to go long, targeting $12 on Euro USD. So let's move on to the next one, which is gold. Right, gold is in a strong bullish bias. Yes, we've been preaching this for the past 2-3 months. Gold is in a strong bullish bias. So we need to identify levels where to go in on that long trade, and that position hasn't changed since last week. We're still looking at 1448 as a potential pullback into this market. 1448, reason being that it's a strong pivot point on gold. That's where strong levels of demand were created during the strong move to the upside. This was explained more into detail on last week's review. So I've highlighted the 1448 on our monthly chart of gold. So now I'm going to go into a lower time frame, which is our weekly chart. Now we are on a weekly chart for gold. So you can clearly see where they rally. The past 1 to 3 weeks, gold is just rallying to the upside. But you can see there is retracements on gold. It's not just a case of shooting up all the way. There is retracements here. You can clearly see there is retracements on the price movement. So looking at 1448 comes in these highs. You see these highs here, they come in at 1448. So now I'm going to go into a daily time frame. Right, now this is our daily time frame. We have got price swing from this area, from this low to this high. We had a clear swing point where price rallied massively. You see, now I'm gonna take our FIB2. I'm gonna take our FIB2, origin of swing to the highest swing area. Right, there we go. Look where the OTE is coming in at. It's coming in at 1440. And if you look on the price on the chart to your left from 1440, what do you see on your left? There we go. A clear demand zone. You see? A clear, strong demand area. 1440. So for those who are not aggressive traders, a pullback into 1440 is going to provide a much better opportunity to take the market to the upside. Yes, most people are going to say, okay, so can we trade this short to the downside? No. The strategy that I use, and yeah, people will say, but you're leaving money on the table. It's a bit of a risky short trade, because price can continue pushing to the upside and you don't want to be caught now. in a market like that. It's best to wait for the price that we have highlighted so that you get in with the better odds of market continuing with the rally. So 1440 is for those who are not aggressive traders, but 1448 is also a best area to look for long trades in the market when it comes to gold. So take note of those price points in the coming week. Yes, some people are gonna look for entries on the 1480. We've got the 1480 price point here. Yes, it's also a good area for short trades to the upside. You can take trades from there, but a much better chance to harvest more pips from the market is between the 1440 and the 1448 price point. Those are the trades that you should look for when you are trading, say, gold, because you harvest a lot of pips. We're talking of hundreds of pips. You see, from 1448 already, that's almost 780 pips. Because if you enter a trade on gold on 1440 or 1448, your target should be last week's high, which comes in at above 1531. It comes in above 1531. And from 1440 to 1531, that's close to 1,000 pips. So those are the kind of trades that I want my students to be looking at. Yes, gold do pays a lot, but it can also mess up with your account. So now we're going to take a look at USDJPY. Since we are bullish on gold, we are going to be looking for short trades when it comes to USDJPY. But from which price area? Let me go to a weekly chart. It identifies those areas much better. You can see we had these lows here. Price pulled back into 107. 107 from last week was our area to look for short trades, and it's still the same price point that we have to focus on. 107 price area, that's the best entry point to look for short trades to the downside when it comes to USDJPY. Expecting price to push back into 107 and continue with the crash to the downside. So 107 is the best area on USDJPY for us to look for short trades with a target of 104 or 105.50 as potential targets. So the bias on USDJPY hasn't changed. We are still looking for shorts. Now let's take a look at USD CAD finally, which is the last asset that we are looking at in this week. Right, USD CAD, I need to highlight price point 133. Price point 133. Let me zoom in. Right, you can see 133 on USD CAD is a strong pivot point which attracts price from both sides. We had a rally into it in this current month. Price rallied into 133, but it couldn't break it. price couldn't break the 133 price area. So 133 on USD CAD is the best area to look for potential bearish evidence targeting 132 price zone. So now I'm on a monthly chart of USD CAD. I'm on a monthly chart of USD CAD. Now I'm going to go into a weekly chart. Now you can see why I was saying it's a strong pivot point. Look how it attracts price to it, but still rejects in either direction. Attracts price from the bottom, it rejects it to the downside. Attracts price from the upside, it rejects it to the upside. You see, so now the past 2 weeks price has been rallying into 133, then close down. 133, close below. So 133 is the best area to look for bearish evidence on USD CAD. But to which area should we be looking for shorts? To the 132 price point. 132 price point. So now let me go to a daily time frame. USD CAD did rally last week into the 133. USD CAD rallied, but it couldn't close above. You see, it came back into 132.6 price zone. It came back into the 136 price zone. So I'm expecting market to pull back again into 133. So this is the area that we need to look for bearish evidence to the 132 price zone, all the way down there. So 133 or any price nearer, we should look for bearish evidence. And when I say bearish evidence, for those that are not in the group, these are the patterns and signs of a market which is about to reverse to the downside. So that's pretty much about it for this coming week, guys. So we're going to be looking for short trades on USD CAD. We're going to be looking for short trades on USDJPY. We're going to be looking for long trades on gold. We're going to be looking for long trades on fiber. We're going to be looking for shorts on dollar index. So remember, guys, dollar index is our main guideline for those 4 other assets. Whatever is happening on the dollar index will also govern how we trade gold, fiber, USDJPY and USD CAD to a certain extent. So it's not just a case of saying, okay, gold has hit say 1480, but then you see that dollar index is not in sync with that move on to 1480. So you really need to be aware of that, and I'll be highlighting in the group the levels when market has opened and Monday's trading, and then we'll see how we can open our position come Monday evening or Tuesday. Have a great trading week, guys, and for those who haven't yet subscribed, just click the subscribe button below and make sure the bell icon is clicked so that you get updates whenever I upload the reviews or any other tutorials. Have a great week, guys, and thank you.